If you're enjoying Bradbury 100, please check out my other podcast, Science Fiction 101, in which we explore the past, present and future of science fiction. Find it at 101sf.blogspot.com. And head over to YouTube to find my Bradbury 101 series, in which I look at Ray's books and movies. This is Bradbury 100, celebrating the life and work of American writer Ray Bradbury. I'm Phil Nichols of bradburymedia.co.uk. Hello and welcome to Bradbury 100, and today I'm going to be reading a story. I always get a bit nervous when I do these because I'm not a professional reader, but I'll give it my best shot. And I'm going to be reading Skeleton. Not the famous Bradbury story called Skeleton, which appears in Dark Carnival, The October Country, The Vintage Bradbury, Stories of Ray Bradbury, and on Ray Bradbury Theatre. Not that one, no. But the other one, published in the same year, 1945, Skeleton, as it appeared in Rob Wagner's script. Now this was a sort of semi-pro magazine published in Hollywood, and Ray contributed a couple of pieces to that magazine over the years, and Skeleton is one of them. Why did he have two stories called Skeleton? I don't know. They both use a similar concept, but the characters are entirely different. So they are different stories. Ray didn't even consider them as being a first version and a rewrite. He treated them as two independent, separate stories. When it comes to the copyright position, quite often Skeleton and Skeleton have appeared side by side, such as in the Collected Stories of Ray Bradbury, a Critical Edition, Volume 3. Both skeletons are in there. And when you look at the copyright information, it will say Skeleton, copyright renewed 1973 or thereabouts. And the implication is that that applies to both versions of Skeleton. But it doesn't. I've looked into the copyright renewals, and the version as published in Weird Tales did indeed have its copyright renewed 28 years after publication. So that one is still in copyright today, the famous version of Skeleton. But the other story from Rob Wagner's script never had its copyright renewed, and that's simply because the magazine was defunct 28 years on, and there was nobody around to renew the copyright. So the script version of Skeleton is in the public domain. On that basis, I'm free to read that story to you now. And so that's what I'm going to do in today's episode. So here we go with Skeleton from Rob Wagner's script, 1945. This story is in the public domain. Well, I just didn't know it was there until this morning, said the man. His name was Arnie, and he swabbed bars and shook cocktails. That was a hell of a time to find out, said his wife, whose name was Lily. Her work around the house consisted of pyramiding cigarette butts in various containers all day, and then carrying them to the kitchen to dump them. After that, she started on a new pyramid. Arnie sat in a big, green, overstuffed chair, and the smoke from his cigarette made a trembling pattern, because his hand was doing the same. All of a sudden, I discovered it, he said, amazed. He looked down at himself as if every part of his body was a rare piece of ivory carving. This morning, I got a little twinge in my knee, you understand? Then I touched it, felt it. His eyebrows went up, surprised. There was a bone there. There's always a bone there, said his wife. Yeah, but I didn't know it, cried Arnie softly, his cheeks burning. I didn't know it, and the bone felt funny. It never felt that way before. You never looked at it before, said his wife. Sure. So this morning I looked at it. You were gone out to the store, I was alone, and I began to wonder. Say, honey, can I? He asked her earnestly, staring at her. Can I feel your kneecap?" "Oh, for God's sake," she said. "A new approach yet, in the guise of a bone specialist. Can't you see I'm not kidding?" he said, and his hands trembled again. "I want to know if everybody's made the same, not just me." "I'm the same," she said. "Well, almost. A few changes maybe, nothing to throw a wingding over." "Anyway," he put it in a picture for her, framed the epic drama in monotone. "I felt my knees, then I felt my ankles, then I grabbed my wrists, my arms, my neck, my head, then I jumped up like I'd been shot. 'Christ almighty,' I yelled. 'I got a skeleton inside me. Get him out of here, a skeleton.'" His wife was looking at him thoughtfully. "I know what you're thinking," gasped Arnie, lying back in his chair. "You're thinking I'm either drunk or nuts, and maybe I'm both. I had to take a drink. I've got a skeleton inside me. Here we go walking around the world, smiling at people, talking at people, shaking their hands, slapping them on the back, and we all got skeletons. Like inside closets. I got to figuring, bodies are closets. We keep bones there. What do you want to go thinking that for? You're queer." "Can I help it?" I began to shake. I lay on the couch, not able to move. I thought, I got a skeleton in me. One of those things you read about, hanging in castle dungeons with webs on them, or dangling on stone walls, clanking in the wind, bronze chains on their wrists and necks. One of those bony, white, horrible things you see all naked on deserts. God. "Yeah," said his wife. "I was scared. I still am. You go walking around, taking yourself for granted and not even knowing yourself. And it's like a snap ending on a story to find you've been hiding a regular Mr. Hyde or a Frankenstein inside you." "You got something there," said his wife. "So I finally quit shaking, at least enough so I could examine myself, and began to feel myself all over." "I hope you two live happily ever after," laughed his wife. "You and your skeleton." "Oh, cut it," he said, glaring at her. "I felt my ribs, and there they were, like two big spiders standing over my lungs, pressing them in, letting them out, pressing them in again with their long, thin, white legs. Oh, baby. And I felt my neck. Feel your neck, Lily. Get hold of the neck bones. That's it. Now, still holding your neck bones, bend your head way back, way back. Feel. What happens to your neck bones? They go inside somewhere. They're gone. There's nothing to hold your head up but a lot of soft stuff." She snapped her fingers away from her neck after the experiment, a shiny light in her grey eyes. Okay. It's still there. It's inside somewhere. Who cares? And I began to feel how the jaw moves and the joints work. Lord, what I learned. There's bone all around your brain. Well, you read that in school, but you don't think about it. It's just something in a book. And now you find bone around your brain. This damned skeleton owns us. It holds everything that's important, practically. Your brain, your lungs, your heart. Jesus. And I began to get scared again. The only good thing about people is they have skin on. Skin and colour and hair. "And a little weight here or there," said his wife, smudging out a cigarette. "But Arnie, we'd look awfully funny, sweets, if we were just skin and fat. Nothing to hold us up." "Well, I don't want nothing out of a horror novel holding me up," he cried wildly, hoarsely. "I can see you're going to carry on this way a long time," she said, walking over to him. "Honest, Arnie, you're a weird bird. Here." She sat on his lap. "We're all the same. It's okay. Whatever we are, it's okay because that's how we're made. Something's holding me up too, but it gives me shape, honey. You'll forget about this. You always forget. You get scared of some little thing, the wind at night, the mountains, the snow, and now a skeleton. But you forget, Arnie. It's easy. Here, you want to feel my knee bone? It's the same as yours." "Can I?" he asked, doubtfully, slowly. "Sure, honey," she said. "Sure." He touched her knee bone as if it were red hot. It was not red hot. It was only pleasantly glowing and warm. She leaned against him, kissed him lightly on the forehead, bit his ear tenderly. "You'll forget, Arnie," she murmured easily. She took the cigarette from his quivering hand, put it in a tray. Then she kissed him on the lips. Arnie slid his arms round her. Arnie held her tightly, his hands moving. He kissed her for a long time, and then kissed her again. He stopped trembling. Deep down inside herself, rich and low, she laughed and sighed with relief. Her eyes closed. She pretended to try and get up and go away, but he held on to her and kissed her. She laughed again, warmly, drowsily, deeply. She was proving something to him. She didn't know exactly what, but she was proving it. A few minutes later, her hand, with the skeletonous, ghostly white bones inside it, the kind that hang in webbed castles, the kind that lie naked on hot deserts or hang rustling in closets, reached over and clicked out the light. Bradbury 100 is presented and produced by Phil Nichols. Music is provided by Purple Planet at purpleplanet.com. Please subscribe using your podcast app. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all good podcast places. And please also check out my YouTube series, Bradbury 101, and my other audio podcast, Science Fiction 101. For information on all of these, head to bradburymedia.co.uk.